Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Fantasy Football Wrap-Up here. Thanks for checking us out. I'm going to be your host this week, Scott Plant. I'm here with a couple of fantasy experts. I got three-time champion Tyler Spooner.
If you want to call us experts, I guess.
Well, it is what it is.
Pretty humbling.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. We got trophies in here, rings to prove it. We'll call you an expert.
I guess you could do that because you're
10
just
years
looking
fantasy
up to
football,
us.
11 years, somewhere around there.
11th season this year.
Yeah, expert to me. Expert to me. Making his Fantasy Football Wrap-Up debut, guys. Three-time champion, returning league champion, Rick, the flamboyant fish, Spooner.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Alright guys, we had a good show for you. Just before we jump into the bust for this year's draft, which is a hot topic, we want to give a shout out to Nate Krischer. We apologize for mentioning your name wrong. You're the winner of the David Johnson autographed helmet.
Yep.
So congrats to Nate. Nate will get that out probably to you sometime this week.
Yep.
Or early next week anyway. So thank you very much. For those of you that haven't won yet, you have good chances. Join our Fantasy Football Wrap-Up group on Facebook. If you have any problems, there'll be a link below you can click on and get right in there. If some reason is not working, email us, fantasyfootballwrapup@gmail.com, and we'll help you get squared away in there. You guys can have a chance to win. We have a draft kit coming up.
Yep.
That'll probably be going out. We'll be announced the winner next week.
Yeah, next
Probably
week
get that
we're
out.
going to do that one.
Yeah, and then we got an autographed, I don't know if you can see with the trophy there, but autographed Jordan Reed jersey that we'll be giving out probably before the start of the season.
Yeah.
All right, but you got to be a member of our fantasy group to win these. So join it
On
and,
Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook, and we'll be in touch with you after that point. So thanks for joining, guys. We got a good show. We get the bust for this year's draft. We got a ton of guys. We probably can't even go over them all because we think it's the biggest bust year maybe ever. We thought last year might have been good, but this year seems to be bigger. Tyler, give me a few guys you got up top.
Some surprising names for me because, I mean, there's a lot of hype on everywhere I look, and that's Ty Montgomery's one of them for me.
Yep.
He's in an offense that passes a lot, so yeah, you would think he's a pass catcher. He's a converted wide receiver.
Right.
But he just doesn't stay healthy enough.
Yeah.
And he's never really been able to sustain a heavy workload at running back last year. I mean, most of his big games came when he had 6 or 7 catches in the game.
Yeah.
So PPR, you can probably get away with him.
I like him in PPR.
Yeah, I like him, but it's his ADP that I have an issue with because he's going in like the 4th round right now. And
well, you're in a standard league.
That's hard because. I love the prospect of playing the Green Bay offense.
Right.
You know, you got Aaron Rodgers who will dink and dunk down the field. He doesn't care who he throws to.
Yep, I agree.
But for me, it's just he's not going to stay healthy. He
Yep.
hasn't proved that he can. He can't handle the workload. At least that's what he's proven
so far. Right.
So, and they drafted a guy. So
You're one of the few. A lot of people don't find him as a bust.
No, I know a lot of people like him as a sleeper, but
They
for
do.
me, it's just I can't call somebody in the 4th round that's not going to produce 4th round numbers a sleeper. That's the definition of a bust.
Getting 8 carries a game.
Yeah, you're not getting return on investment there.
No,
so.
no, you're not. No,
And then another one. They brought in Adrian Peterson in New Orleans. So for me, Mark Ingram is a huge question mark.
Yeah.
They do the same exact thing.
They do.
So I know Ingram might be a little better pass catcher, but they drafted a kid that's a pass catcher.
Right.
So everything Ingram does good, he has one that might arguably do it better in both situations.
Yeah.
So he might find his way on a camp cut. Honestly, he could be one of those guys.
Ingram?
Yeah, he could be.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not. I haven't read anything or anything, but I mean, why would you have that guy on the field or at all if you have two other people that do the same thing he does? So for me, he just scares me at that point.
Okay.
And then I have Telvin Coleman in Atlanta.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't think that offense is going to be as good as it was last year.
I agree.
Generally, you get the Super Bowl hangover, and also when you play the Patriots, you're
Lost the OC.
horrible the year after that. You lose the OC. I think they like Freeman a lot.
Okay.
I think he's going to be more of the featured back now. It's not going to be splitting carries anymore. I think they're going to be going Freeman.
I think so too.
And riding him a little bit more.
I think so too.
So he's another one. Now for some receivers, I have Brandon Marshall. To me, he's a 3 receiver on that team. You think he's the 2nd receiver, and Rick does too.
Yep.
But Sterling Shepard showed a lot last year. Even in the red zone, he stole some targets from Odell Beckham.
Yeah, he showed me he's going to be the 3rd receiver this year. That's what he showed me.
He showed me that he can beat number 2 corners. And Marshall showed me last year he couldn't beat number 3 corners. So when he loses... I don't know if he got hurt or not. I didn't have him last year.
He was all dinged up. Had the worst.
Robbie Anderson was the leading receiver on that team.
Well, that's true.
He
did get production out of Robbie Anderson.
I might be wrong on that. Quincy Enunwa might have been the leading receiver on that team last year.
I don't know. It was close. At the end of the year, it was Robbie Anderson.
Okay, so either or, they're not Brandon Marshall. So in the Giants' offense, I think it's Odell, Sterling Shepard, Marshall.
Okay.
And I do like Perkins too, so I think they're going to run the ball more this year.
Okay.
But then with the Patriots, they signed traded for Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
I don't like him this year just because there's not enough targets. You can only throw the ball so many times.
Yeah.
And,
no, you're right. And they spread it around.
And not only that, it's going Gronk, whoever's open. It's
right.
Gronk, whoever's open.
No,
First
right.
read, Brady
right.
looks, we're number 87.
That's exactly right.
If you're at the 5-yard line trying to get out of your own end zone, he's looking to Gronk, and then he's going across the field.
He is.
So, last time I checked, Cooks isn't number 87.
No.
6'7"
No.
or 6'6".
No.
So he's not going to be the first look.
Yeah.
You don't have plays designed for him, and he
Yeah.
is going to catch a 40 or 50-yard touchdown
Yeah.
every now and then.
Yep.
But it's just not going to be where he's taking, because he's going in the early third-ish
Before.
to the late third, maybe early fourth, in that range, and you can't take him there and be comfortable with it.
I agree. He's not going to get the targets.
He's
Edelman
not.
doesn't even get. Edelman got better last year when Gronk went down because that's what it is. It's Gronk first, everybody else. He's not getting enough targets to be fantasy, to be that good in fantasy that high.
Honestly, I see a scenario where Edelman could outcatch Cooks. I see a scenario where that could happen, just being familiar, moving the chains on third down.
Yeah.
There's a certain scenario where that happens.
Yeah.
There's a scenario where Cooks could be the best one, and I could be completely wrong.
Yeah. When Gronk gets hurt.
Yeah. Or if he doesn't, I mean, maybe, who knows, maybe Brady just somehow can magically throw the deep ball perfectly, which never has happened in his career. But, I don't know, everyone likes to compare him to Randy Moss, and it's not Randy Moss. Let's just this is not Randy Moss.
That's hard to compare to.
Yeah, well, this is what all you get the beat writers around here, like, oh, he's making one-handed catches down the sideline.
Right.
Okay, well, he's facing a safety that doesn't even play, not going to make Jacksonville's team.
Right.
Yeah.
So, this is why that happens. And I don't like Tyreek Hill in Kansas City.
Okay.
So for me, if you're like our league and you count punt return yards, he was great last year.
Right.
He actually finished in our league with more points than Julio Jones.
Yep.
So he was a solid player last year, and everyone would be like, well, why is he a bust this year?
Right.
Well, he's a bust this year because he's not kick returning anymore.
Correct.
So he loses 900 total yards, 900 yards,
Yep.
and 3 touchdowns. Is that what he had? Return yards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had 3 touchdowns. You're looking at, if you divide 900 by 50, and I am not good at math. So,
It's not good.
No, it's
not number one receiver, right?
It's not good to I'm only going to guess you're losing about 60 points
Yeah.
between that and touchdowns.
Yeah.
Just going to guess something like that. So a guy that's in our league would have went in the 3rd or 4th round because of the punt return yards.
Right.
You know, I'd grade him around 7 or 8. And he's in other leagues he's going at 5 or 6.
So you don't think he's getting 1,000 yards this year receiving?
If he does, it's exactly around. It's not going to be 1,100. He could be like, because it's so easy to have 1,000 yards for receivers nowadays. If you're the number one, 63 yards a game.
Yeah.
Or 64 yards a game.
Yeah.
So, I could see him maybe breaking that, but I think I'll go with this. He'll have 1,000 total yards, but he won't have 1,000 receiving. Because I think he might run the ball.
Right, because he'll run for a couple hundred, I think.
Yeah, so that's how I see him. But yeah, that's just a bunch of busts I have.
All right, very good. Good stuff there. Rick, what do you got?
My top guy is Demaryius Thomas. Some could go either way with Thomas or Sanders, Thomas and Sanders.
Right.
That whole Denver offense it's not steady.
It's a
It
joke.
it starts with their QBs. You know, they get Trevor Siemian, they get the sophomore Paxton Lynch.
Yep.
It's not a good situation.
They're both useless.
If you're on
we could just call it
Denver's
what it is.
offense, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, they're both very useless to that.
Yep.
Next guy I got switching to QBs, going with Dak Prescott.
Okay, that's interesting.
I don't. It's all going to depend on Elliott. I think that if he does get suspended,
Right.
but Elliott had 354 total touches last season,
Yeah, that's a ton.
and Prescott
That's a ton.
had 459 attempts.
So he barely had 100 more passing attempts than Elliott had touches.
Right. And Ryan had 500, I read the other day, 550, 539, somewhere around there passing yards. And that was a low for him, so Dak's got what,
459 attempts, he completed 311.
Yeah, I don't know if he's putting that team on his back if
He's going to have to. I mean, they got Hillman, they got McFadden, they got Alfred Morris, the next 3 backs.
Great players.
But can they be
Don't forget the
reliable
great
on that
Tyrell
team?
Williams.
Yeah.
That's
Or
Tyrell
Williams.
Williams.
Oh, Terrell Williams, yeah,
exactly.
the great one. How could I forget his name?
Tyrell plays for the San Diego
75-year-old Jason Witten. You're right. He's probably going to be.
I just don't think that those three running backs can keep up what Elliott did on the ground, through the air. I think it's all going to go on Prescott.
Yeah.
And, the sophomore year, the sophomore slump,
Sure.
the big thing.
Could be.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, it could be.
Could he buckle? I mean, he could, surprise us all. He could be the sleeper of the century. He could throw.
He could
4,500 yards.
He could go either way.
I mean, he could, but I don't really see it happening. And then, when Elliott comes back, he's taking the ball over.
Yeah.
I mean, Prescott's gonna maybe have 20 attempts a game, maybe even less.
Right.
I think Elliott's gonna come back. If he is suspended,
and feed him the ball.
He's gonna have 30, 35 carries a game.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be a ground and
Yeah, I don't see him
that
throwing
one.
big numbers. I mean, maybe late round 2 quarterback league, maybe.
Yeah, well, in 2 quarterback league, he's definitely going to get drafted.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, of course he's going to be drafted, but how good is he going to be?
I mean, I probably lump him into with the Sam Bradford category and stuff like that.
Really? Okay.
Which, honestly,
I don't go that far.
Yeah, see, I think people underestimate Sam Bradford, as Rick likes to refer to him as sleeves.
I can't stand him. God, I cannot stand that guy.
I mean, I made it a point where I am drafting him, and every single trade I send him this year will have Sam Bradford in it.
All of those trades will be denied.
Especially when I offer AJ Green for Cole Beasley, and he's going to deny it. And you guys heard on record he has to deny that. So he's on record that has to deny that trade.
He's horrible to me, but...
Yeah, and with Dak, too, he's not a guy that's built to be able to throw the ball downfield, he's not...
He's not a deep ball.
He has a good arm.
It irritates me because people like to say, "Oh, he's like Tom Brady when he started."
Right.
Well, okay, he can't read a defense even half as good as Tom Brady can, or could when
Brady
he
was
started.
great at that.
So Brady never had Elliott, or Brady might have put the numbers up then because he would have been throwing to open receivers all the time.
Right.
Because that's all Dak was doing last year. Cole Beasley had a career year last year.
Yep.
And that's all because of Elliott. Like Rick said, if
Elliott
is out for games, they're losing every one of those games. I'll go on record saying that right now.
Right.
They're losing every one of those games that Elliott doesn't play. He's the most valuable player in that team.
Yeah, I'd have to see the schedule, but they're going to struggle. All right, let's change it up. Give me a guy in the top of the draft, in the top 20 you think is going to be a bust.
Mike Evans, and I might get stuck with him.
How about you, Rick?
I'm in the same boat. I'm going to go with Des Bryant, and I might get stuck with him too.
Yeah, but that's the second round. It's not your first round.
Yeah,
I might get screwed at pick 9.
And you're on the swing in the second round, so that's not, it's second, almost third. That's,
so you get the piggyback him with maybe another bust that you should take too, Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
I don't think
you guys, anyone that's watched this multiple times, knows how much we love Cooper.
But you're right, if Dak struggles, Des is going to struggle. He could be a bust potential right there. So now let me mix it up, because there's a lot of guys we could talk about here in the top 20. We can go Melvin Gordon. We can go
Freeman.
I don't think Howard. Jordan Howard with the Bears.
Howard, yep.
I think those two are going to be okay. I've heard other people mention they're going to be bust. Do you think they're going to be bust? What do you got with those two?
I love Jordan Howard, but my strategy's going receiver, so I'm not going to take Howard.
Yep.
I would if Jordy Nelson gets taken.
So you think Howard's not going to be a bust? Do you think he's going to be okay this year?
Howard this year is going to be the 4th or 5th leading rusher in the league, I think.
What about you and Gordon? Do you think he's a bust, or do you think he's what he is, or do you think he's got upside? Where would you rank him?
I think he has some great upside.
I do too.
He was phenomenal. I had him last year. He was phenomenal for me. He was
in our league. He averaged 23.5 a game for those 12 games.
He was over 23
points. Overrated 23.5 hours.
The only thing is that
overrated.
When the playoffs started, he played a quarter or something of the first playoff game. Didn't play the rest of it. It kind of hurt me in that sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I stuck at the championship, so I guess it doesn't really matter that much.
Right.
But Jordan Howard, I have to disagree with you.
You think so? I'm disagreeing with you on Gordon. So go ahead.
He does have talent, but they have a rookie quarterback now who
that's
probably
Mitchell. You don't like Mitchell?
No,
Come on, you got Gilman and Meredith.
No,
that team's
loaded. You guys don't think Glennon is going to start? I think Glennon is a starter. So.
You're right, Glennon, but
even Glennon.
Throw the name in a hat.
I think it's going to be similar to what they did in Dallas last year.
Right.
They fed Elliott.
Right.
He had 350 touches. It's going to be just like that for Howard. I don't know if he can handle it or not.
Okay.
He
did have to put the team on his back.
To be fair, he didn't play all 16 games, But to be fair, on top of that, David Johnson didn't play all 16 games the year before last year either, and nobody thought David Johnson was doing what he did last year.
Well, Howard played all 16. He just didn't start all 16.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
So he was healthy that stretch run. So we'll see.
And don't worry this
I
year,
think they're both
guys.
gonna be good.
Jeremy Langford is not stealing carries,
No,
so you don't have to worry about that. Jordan Howard is the guy.
Right.
But for me to go against Gordon a little bit,
Right.
I look at his first season, and that might have been, at that point,
No touchdowns.
he was the biggest bust I've seen in my lifetime drafted because of the hype he had coming out. Like, he's the next Jamal Charles.
Right.
Like, that's all everyone said.
I
And
didn't
then,
know that, but
oh, this is what I remember from it. So if
Yeah.
I'm wrong, then I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But he comes into the league, no touchdowns. Played well, I don't know if he even played in the games, but he was on the team for the whole entire season.
starter.
He was the starter. No
they shipped
touchdowns.
Matthews to Philly.
You're right. So yeah, he was the starter, didn't score a touchdown in 16 weeks. You guys are getting all giddy because he scored, 10 touchdowns last year, 8
Yeah.
touchdowns?
I think he had like 12.
12, so he scored 12 last year.
12.
Yeah,
So
he
average
scored
that out,
six.
he's averaging 6 a year. If he gives you 6 touchdowns this year, he's a bust where you take him.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying.
I just don't
For
think he's
me,
going to.
Well, you think the offense is going to be worse passing? I think they're going to
Yeah,
pass
because
way more.
Keenan Allen's going to go down like he always does for the past 2-3 years.
And then at that point, Melvin Gordon won't score a touchdown.
The rookie they drafted already has back problems.
Oh, he's not going to play this year.
They got rid of Danny Woodhead and they brought in no other running back to even challenge him.
No, you're right. You're right.
He's going to get every opportunity to screw that up, and I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, but so is Howard.
No, I said I like them both. I like them both.
No, I know that, but,
You know,
but
so,
for me, it's just Phillip Rivers
Right.
likes to check out of running plays. Too.
Yeah, he does.
He does that too much.
Give me a tight end. You have a tight end that could be a bust this year?
I got like a bunch of them.
Give me one.
Delaney Walker.
Okay.
I mean, Delaney Walker's in
People
an
like him
offense.
too.
I know. Well, Delaney Walker, I loved him last year.
Yep.
Didn't take him.
Yep.
Thank God.
Yep.
I liked him the year before. Took him. I was happy.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, if you watch slowly from a couple years ago, where he was the only guy in that team,
Yep.
and then over time, it became Rashard Matthews last year going off. It came to now they got Corey Davis. Now they got Eric Decker.
Yep.
They have DeMarco Murray. They're gonna mix in Henry. There's nowhere I don't see him getting more than 70 targets this year.
Okay.
So-
Very good. Very good. All right. Now let's just switch it because there's a lot of guys we don't have all day. We can't sit here for 14 days here doing bust because we go over a lot of guys.
Oh yeah.
Let's go like this. What's your worst bust of all time since you've ever started
I'll
playing?
let Rick go because I gotta think I had a bunch.
Give me the guy that you drafted. He slapped you in the face. He didn't punch you in the face. He slapped you in the face, knocked you down, and took a dump on your chest. Kind of fantasy bust.
That would have to be Hopkins
What? Last year?
in Houston.
Last year when you got
I think it was last year, yeah.
Seventh
Yeah,
overall.
overall.
7th
And he
overall.
gave you 6th round production.
That's gonna happen to me with Mike Evans.
Maybe not
Like,
even
and I
sixth
round.
promise
Maybe
you,
not
so
even
Tampa
sixth
Bay
round.
fans,
Yeah.
Tampa Bay fans, I'm sorry if I get them at pick 9 if
Right.
this is happening.
Right. What do you got? What's your worst? Do you have one?
All right, so I had to think about this because they asked me this question the other day.
Right.
I said Marshawn Lynch
2
in
years
Seattle
ago.
2 years ago when he was hurt all year.
Yeah.
That
you
wasn't
just
my worst one. Peyton Manning, when he decided to be shitty, was my worst one.
When was that?
It was the year after he went off, so I took him earlier
Oh,
than
It
he
was
was
yeah,
the year
supposed
that he
to.
retired.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I took him,
down
and Brock Osweiler beat him out for a starting job.
That's funny.
Somehow I still made the playoffs, but I got killed in the
Yeah.
playoffs. I get the 7th overall seed
Yeah.
out of 8 teams that made the playoffs.
Yep.
So
That's
that was my biggest, and that one, he didn't just slap me in the face.
right.
He drove over my head
Right.
after kicking me while I was down.
Hit you with a bus.
And dropped you in the porta potty.
Yep.
Mine was Matt Forte. 2 years ago, I took Matt Forte. I had the 2nd overall.
Oh, you took him. That's
I
right.
passed on Antonio Brown.
Oh my god.
On Antonio Brown's monster year 2
Yep.
years ago.
Why don't you tell me your 2nd round pick was? Too?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, who's your 2nd round pick? That was another bust too.
Yeah, DeMarco Murray.
Oh, it was Murray.
Well, I
Yeah, in
wasn't
Philly.
sure.
In Philly.
I wasn't sure it was Murray or Calvin Benjamin. Benjamin ended up tearing his ACL that year.
You lost your
so
first
I lost my first.
picks.
I still made the playoffs too, by the way. But yeah, Forte was the #1 running back that year before. You know, he was the David Johnson the year before.
Yeah, he was.
Yep.
He was good.
And he took a dump on my chest. So
Yeah, big time.
that was mine. So guys, thanks for joining. Don't forget to follow us on Fantasy Football Wrap Up on Facebook. Join our group and you can win some cool prizes. And we'll have some more videos coming up. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.